Welcome. In this presentation, I am going to show you how to draw a harmonic cam. I've already pulled up a C-size title block and edited it. Called it a harmonic cam because the rise and the fall on both sides at 180 degrees in the revolution are identical to each other but reversed with an S-curve in it. Okay, so now we will zoom into the drawing. And here we go. Now, we'll talk about the nomenclature. We're in chapter 22 of the book. It's called Cams, Linkages, and Actuators. And so we're going to start with cams. And there's many different types of cams out there, but this will be a plate cam. And we'll probably make it out of 2-inch 1018 cold rolled steel. And the cold rolled steel holds its tolerances better than the hot rolled steel, the HRS. So CRS to HRS. Okay, so there's a couple things. We're going to be drawing a cam, we're going to be drawing a follower, we're going to be drawing a cam displacement diagram. All of these go in there. And I believe we have 7 different types of followers. We're going to pick a roller, which you can just purchase, so we'll do that. So coming up here, changing over to the object layer that we're going to start with here, and I'm going to go with the line. I'm going to start with the midpoint right up here, and I'm just going to come right down perpendicular. Okay, now and then I'll hit escape, and I will start with a circle, and then I'm going to start it with the midpoint of this circle. Now I'm probably going to move it. There are several things that I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on a 1-inch shaft, so I'll hit D for diameter and 1. Also, I'm going to come back with another circle, start at that same center point, and this time the diameter will be 2. Okay, now this is going to be a hub. It's going to be projecting out from the plate. It will be welded, seam welded all the way down, and it will be ground. Okay, now I'm going to do another circle, and this time I'll pick here and R for radius, and I'll say 3. Okay. Just for a minute, I'm going to have to check and make sure. That is 2, which is good. And then I will check this. Diameter 6, diameter 2. Actually, I want this a radius of 2, I do believe. And I'm going to put another circle in there, center point here, and the diameter will be 10. Okay, so looking at this, 1 and 2, radius 3. Nah, I want this one to be gone right here. And let me just double check, see what I did. Okay, it's a diameter 1. That's okay. So now we'll come back with a circle, center point here, and diameter of 4. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And actually, let's get rid of this and this. So we'll come back to another circle, some center point, and this time let's do a diameter of 2. Okay, so we'll get to talk about that later. So we have to do a transition. Okay, got it. And so let's take this line and let's delete it. Okay, Now I'm going to go over to layer, and I'm going to create a new layer, and it will be called construction. This is a layer that you can turn on and off if you need to. I'm also going to create another layer while I'm there, and I'm going to call it follower. It'll be specific. Okay, now the construction layer for right now, continuous is fine. Black would be fine, but I'm going to change it right now to red. I may change it later, and I want it to be very thin, 0.03. The follower, on the other hand, I'm going to make it blue, okay, just so we can see the difference, and it will be a little bit thicker, probably 0.35 will do for that for right now. Okay, so we'll close this, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go to my construction layer. Okay, mind you, it looks pretty big right there, but I'm going to go with a line starting at the center point of these concentric circles. And concentric means they all have the same. So I'm just going to go up. Oh, we'll go all the way up like that. Okay. Now again, this is a harmonic cam, so the motion, this is where the motion starts, this is where the motion ends. Okay. Now I'm going to array, A-R-R-A-Y, or you can pick array. I'm going to select that line that I just created and hit enter and pick polar. Now it's wanting me to find the base point, so I'll go with the center, or I could pick the end point and pick down here. Okay, 6 is what I want, by the way, and so that looks good, and then we'll close that. Okay, now the motion is going to change, so now I'm going to trim some stuff out. So I will go to trim. I will pick this line and this line and enter, and then this well, it didn't work, so let me explode. In older versions you don't have to do this, but in the newer ones you do. Okay, now I'm going to go at trim. I will pick this one and this one and hit enter, and I'm going to get rid of this part of the cam. And then I'm going to come down here and pick this one and enter, and get rid of this part of the cam. So what you're going to have is 60 degrees with a dwell that's not going to go anywhere, and then you're going to have a rise because we're going to go clockwise, and then you're going to have 120 degrees, which is called a major dwell, and then you're going to have a fall. The rise and the fall are identical, and a lot of times these cams are placed on the same shaft, and maybe a beater is going up and down, and you'll have a pair of these turned at 180 degrees, so therefore you have to key them at 180 degrees apart. Okay, now coming in here, now that we're speaking key, let's go back to object layer. Okay, now this, let's just go ahead and dimension it so we can see. It's a 2-inch diameter shaft. Now the rule of thumb on a key is that it is 1/4 the size of the shaft. 1/4 of 2 is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so we will offset 0.5 this diameter, also this line over to the left and to the right. Okay, now I'm going to pick these two lines, maybe pick that one, and I'm going to come up here and change it to object layer. Okay, that's important. Now I'm going to do a line from the quad point, which is the top part of this circle right here. Well, line, and then QUA, or you can go to object snaps and pick it and just drag it out. And then I'm going to extend it. It's a lot better if you extend this line So I'm going to say this is where I want to extend it to, and enter, and then I'm going to pick that line and go. If you just draw another line over there, it's not a solid line, and it could result in problems later on. Now I'm going to trim, so I will pick these lines right here. Okay, enter, and then I can trim that one off, and that one, and this. Same thing up here. Now let's do a measurement to make sure. We said a ½ inch, but that looks like an inch. Okay, so you know, I know what I did. So now I just take this and offset that in 0.25 each. I did the whole thing. I should have done a quarter, and then a quarter and a quarter is a half, so I had doubled it. So all I have to do, got the 0.25, come in here like that, there, and there, and then I can trim, if I can spell, this part out. Now I'm going to extend, if this will work, to here and here, and enter. To explode that. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and where it says trim, pick extend. I'll just pick that line and enter, and then pick that circle there, that circle. I may have to get rid of this. Okay, that helps. And now we can come in and trim this. And then extend. And trim. Do the cutting device first, and then what you want to cut off. Okay. Now, zooming back out, CAM is starting to take shape, starting to look good. So we're in good shape now. The one line, the construction line, it's gone. So let's extend one. Now we'll end up trimming these in the end. Okay. So therefore we have that. Now let's decide the size of the follower. So we'll come over here, we'll pick follower, and we can have, say, a 1½ inch diameter follower. So if we do that, we'll go offset. Half of 1.5 is 0.75 for the radius. So we would just pick this and go up with it. And then we'd go to circle, and we would pick that intersection right there. And D for diameter, 1.5. And there's our follower. It's actually going to start right there. Okay. Now, for this, we're going to go ahead and change it to construction layer. Okay. Now, so we will do another circle, and we will put it right here. Just hit enter and it'll put that. So the motion of this follower, it's in what we call a minor dwell for 60 degrees, but it's going to begin to rise. So watch carefully what we're about to do. We know that we have 2 inches of movement, so we're going to offset 1 inch, half of that movement. And we're going to pick this construction circle and go up, and then we're going to do another circle. We're going to pick it right here at this intersection, and we're going to drag it out to this intersection right here. Okay, now this one is a construction circle. This is something that may go in and out. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to trim from right here and get rid of this line. Okay, now going back to construction, need to make that current. I'm going to go line from the center point right here to this intersection right here. Okay, now let's talk. There's a 60-degree area. We could break this down. If we said, okay, just 2, we'd put one follower here, one follower here, and the line would just go straight through and it wouldn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 60 degrees, we're going to break it down into 12 equal segments of 5 degrees. It comes out really nice. So think about that, 12, okay? And we're going to array them here in a minute. That's 12 spaces. So we have the same thing up here, but the problem is we need to go all the way around, and that's 180 degrees. So 180 degrees, you know, divided by 12 is 15 degrees, okay? And so again, array, enter. We're going to pick this line and enter. It's going to be polar, and the axis is going to be right here. You could do the intersection and center point. Okay, so I'm now going to come up here and I'm going to do 180 degrees. I'm going to do 13. Now remember, there's 13 lines, but there's 12 spaces between the lines. Okay, and then we're going to flip that. No, 13 is correct, 180 is correct. It's got those done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go negative 180. Negative. Okay, it put it in the opposite way. No matter what I entered, it's not a big problem. I'm now going to mirror that. I got to explode it first. And now mirror. So we'll go from this intersection here up to this intersection here. I want to delete those. Okay. Now, so far today, I have made a lot of mistakes in getting this to work, but notice these, there's 13 lines, but 12 spaces. And the first one is right here where this line touches the circle. Okay? Now, what I'm about to do, you'll like it. I'm going to go to Object Snap, think it's it. Object Snap Settings. And what I'm looking at doing is I need to pick the center point. I need to pick intersection, which is right down here. And I also need to pick perpendicular. Okay, I really don't want to pick anything else because it could confuse what I'm about to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go with a line, and I'm going to go from intersection, and we'll zoom in to parallel. Enter, enter again, intersection to parallel. Enter twice, intersection to parallel. Enter twice again, intersection to parallel. The object snap's helping me, making it faster to do this. It's finding the point for me. Okay. Now, enter twice. The next one already goes straight down, so I'm going to go from here to here. And then I'll go from here to here. I did that because it's easier to pick that as it's getting wider. Now, if you notice, the lines are spaced equally on the opposite side of the center. Okay, so I now have that circle completely done. So here's the next thing. I'm going to pick a circle. It's going to start at the center point. Well, it picked intersection. So I'll pick, I guess I'll type in center point, or I could pick that down there, I guess. And the first one, if you notice, it's already there, but we'll go ahead and pick it. Okay, and then we'll hit enter again. We'll pick this circle and go there. We can actually pick that circle. No. Pick that circle from there to there. Enter twice. Pick the center of the circle and go to there. Enter twice. Center of the circle, and we'll go there. Enter twice. Center of the circle. Just zoom in to get that one. And type in center, pick that. That should come right to there. Enter twice. Center. And then there. If you don't type in center, it could pick intersection or anything else. So I've entered twice. CEN for center. There. And then pick that intersection. Enter twice. CEN for center. Pick that circle, because the center points are concentric. And then just pick that. Enter twice. Center, concentric. Pick that one. Enter twice. Center for that one. And right there. Enter twice. Center for that one. And then come up to here. And then enter. Okay. And zoom all. So we have construction lines. Okay, and they're looking pretty good. I'll probably change them to a lighter color when I'm through, but right now I want you to see what we're doing. So now I'm going to come in and type in trim, or you can pick trim. Pick this construction line and this construction line and hit enter. And what you want to do is everything outside of those we want to trim away. Explode maybe. Okay. We'll trim again. We will pick this line. Oh, I see. Got to pick that one and that one and enter. And then we can get rid of, get it right, pick this line, this line, what it did, it just went up to the first one. Now I got to pick that one and that one and then enter, and then should be anything we pick should disappear. Okay, got to zoom in and find that one, that red one, and then enter. And so what we have here is an area where we're going to construct the cam, and there's different types of cams, and it shows you the profiles, but they're all similar. Now, one of the things that we know is, well, first of all, let's just go ahead and do an array. I want to array, and I'm going to pick this one right here and hit enter, and obviously polar is what we're wanting, and then the construction area is right in here. Now remember, I want 12 spaces, so I need 13 lines. The space is 60 degrees, right? Notice the arrow, it's going in the right direction right there. Okay, so 5, that is what we want, and then we will hit close. Okay, so it has put these together. That's important. Now we're going to explode that just like that right there. Okay, now I will have to switch over to the follower. Okay, and got to have a good eye for this. The first follower that we created was right here at this intersection of this first circle and this first line. The second one will be the second circle and the second line. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to come down 2, and we're going to come in there, and we're going to go 0.75 and enter. Okay, now what we're doing at 5 degrees, we're moving it counterclockwise, or clockwise, but we're also moving it up on the harmonics. Okay, hit enter twice, and then we'll come over 1, 2, 3, and then we can just hit enter, and then hit enter again and again. We'll pick that one and enter. Hit enter twice, and we get that one. Enter twice, we get that one. Enter twice, and we'll get that one. Enter twice, and we'll pick that one. Enter twice, and we'll pick that one. Enter twice, and we'll pick that one. Okay. Now, I guess we'll have to come back this way. I'm going to go right there. Okay, so we got them all. So what you're looking at is the movement of the follower as the cam comes around. Okay, so we're looking pretty good right here. So this is called a rise because it's going from a 3-inch radius to a 5-inch radius. Okay, now for this, how do we draw that? Well, we don't use a line command. What we're going to do is use a polyline or a spline. It's going to end up being a spline. So we would end up here. Let's click here, go to Object Snap, and we don't want center at this point on anything. Intersection probably do, no perpendicular, but we're also looking for tangent. Okay. We're going to have to change our line type back to object. Okay, and so we'll zoom in as much as we can and type in spline, and notice down here spline specify the first point. Well, it's going to be at that intersection right there. Okay, And then as you come over here, I guess we can hit F8, turn that off. It's automatically finding tangent to there. And then we're going to come over. There's tangent. There's tangent. Tangent. And it's finding the points and it's connecting everything. In the old days, we drew these by hand and they had to cut them out by the description on the blueprint. And if you took the CAM and it didn't line up with the drawing, you rejected it. Okay, and then the next one is right there, and then we hit enter. Now, when we look back at this, you notice that the profile, it touches the followers at the appropriate place. And you need to define the follower before you do this. Okay, so we're in good shape here. Now, I'm going to come over and I'm going to mirror that spline that we just drew. So I'm going to have to zoom in there and pick it, or I don't pick anything else. So we pick that and then we hit enter. And then it wants us to pick a line, a mirror line right there. And then we hit enter. For all practical purposes, the CAM is done at this point. And so this will be phase 1, and we'll have another video to follow. Okay. See you in the next video.